Medical misinformation on TikTok can be so scary, the platform actually had to come out and ban some of them. But what if some of the hacks are actually helpful? I'm Aina, an oncology pharmacist watching medical TikToks for the very first time, and I'm going to react to scary ones, weird ones, and maybe some I will genuinely find helpful.
See, never make the mistake of drinking medicine while wearing this plastic cover on your tongue. This girl claims that if you wear this tongue cover, no matter how bitter the medicine is, you won't taste it at all. Seeing this, her mother also put the same plastic cover on her daughter's tongue and gave her the bitter medicine to drink. At first, everyone thought the cover was really working because the girl was drinking the medicine calmly without making any faces. But the surprising part came when the girl stuck out her tongue. The entire medicine was still trapped inside the plastic cover.
Somehow that kind of triggered my gag reflex. The single most disgusting liquid medication I can think of is something that I've never even had. It's those cherry-flavored codeine cough syrup. And the reason is because I've poured so much when I was working in community, and they actually come in, I forget, either 2 or 4 liter huge jars. And every time we have a patient needing a script of codeine cough syrup, we have to pour it out from the big jar into the dispensing bottle. And the smell of that cherry mixed in with the codeine, it's just not very nice. If you've had codeine cough syrup, let me know what it tastes like. It's kind of hard to imagine an adult needing this though. I feel like if you're not skilled enough, maneuvering your tongue like that can actually make you feel pretty uncomfortable and cause a gag reflex. Maybe it's good for children, but let's face it, if you can't get them to drink medicine, how the hell are you going to get them to stick out their tongue and roll this onto their tongue? So I would say this is a 4 out of 10. All right, okay. I think I'm definitely guilty of this one, and this has gotten a lot worse since I began to work at the cancer hospital. I think the reason might just be because of all the charts that you read, and some patients' symptoms are clearly red flags from the beginning, and you know that this is a sign for you to seek medical attention and get a diagnosis. But some of the symptoms are quite general, to be honest. Like for example, a young girl having frequent headaches. They go to the emergency and the emergency doctor just think they're having a migraine and they give them painkillers. And then finally they do a CT scan of the brain and they find out it's a brain cancer. But obviously there's absolutely no benefit of doing this other than stressing yourself out. I would say the best way is to educate yourself on some of the symptoms that you need to watch out for. And if you do have those red flags, then you should seek medical attention as soon as possible.
Check this out. If you have sleep problems, I have a serious hack for you.
Step number 1, go to Walgreens.
Step 2, check the price of the sleep aid. There are 48 capsules and the active ingredient is 25 milligrams. Now check the price of this generic Benadryl. In 100 capsules, there's also 25 milligrams, almost half the price.
Yeah, well, it's generic. Of course it's going to be cheaper. Whoever's using Benadryl as a sleep aid, stop doing it. It really sucks that they've marketed diphenhydramine or Benadryl as a sleep aid, and I get it. If you're having a cold or flu and you really need that nighttime flu tablet to help you go to sleep, and it's incorporated with other ingredients to help with fever, pain, cough, I completely understand that, and you need a good night rest. But taking Benadryl on its own chronically for sleep problem, it's not good. And that's because Benadryl is on this list called the Beers criteria, which include a list of medications that can be very dangerous if used in elderly patients. It's kind of a hit list for pharmacists that we want to avoid. With prolonged use of Benadryl for sleep, especially if you're elderly, it can lead to falls, confusion, delirium, and other really bad things. This one, 0 out of 10. Do not take Benadryl for sleep.
And do you have any allergies to medication? No. Not a single medication allergy? Nope. Absolutely none. That's correct. You've tolerated every single pill, capsule, and tablet that's ever gone into your mouth. Yes. Okay. Let me go talk with my attending. We'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
No allergies at all. No allergies whatsoever. Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Hawthorne. Student Dr. Daniel told me about you. We're going to start you on a prescription for penicillin. Oh, I'm allergic to penicillin. Oh, is that right? I was under the impression that you had no medication allergies. Any other allergies we should know about? Sulfa, doxycycline, erythromycin, codeine, Dilaudid.
This is funny because I feel like we could swap out the medical student with doctors and the pharmacist with the attending. Oh, you know what allergy is really annoying for us as pharmacists? If someone has a latex allergy, because a lot of the IV preparation, like vials, syringes, even gloves, they might contain latex. So if a patient says they have latex allergy, their chemo medication that we mix literally has to be in a separate clean hood using a set of completely latex-free products. And usually that just takes a lot longer to prep their medication. And yeah, penicillin allergy seems to just be so common, and honestly, I feel like a lot of the older generation, they used to get a skin test for penicillin allergy, but actually in a lot of the cases, people don't have a true penicillin allergy. But because they tell doctors, I have a penicillin allergy, even though they've never actually tried real penicillin before, we end up having to find an alternative for them. Wait. Our hospital has the same hold music. What is this? Is this the universal hold music? Me calling pharmacy for the 7th time after they told me 6 hours ago that they're sending my medication. I can explain.
There's only one pharmacy department in the entire hospital, and we do have to prioritize the medication requests that come in.
For a nurse or a doctor, they're only in charge of one particular ward, or even just a few patients on that ward. And while they might think their patients' medications are more urgent, we're getting stat requests from the surgical room, or the CT imaging department had to use their crash kit and we have to make them a new one. So yeah, if it took 6 hours to fill your medication request, maybe we just thought it wasn't urgent enough. This guy's dance is so funny though. POV, you're waiting for pharmacy department to answer to ask if Tylenol is really acetaminophen before giving it to your patient. That's okay. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? If you're not sure, call us. We're happy to answer. I personally would actually not be bothered at all if you ask this type of questions. I'm happy to help. I think the type of questions that do bother me and make me feel a little bit annoyed is, let's say during the day, I know and remember I've dropped off some medications for this ward and I personally put it in the nurse drawer, and I get a call 6 hours later, and mind you, sometimes I get called after hour when I'm on call and the nurse working in that ward says, I can't find the medication, and I'm like, I remember actually dropping it off, can you please check? And they hang up and they call back 5 minutes later and they're like, nope, we can't find it, you're gonna come back to the hospital and give me a new one. So I get ready, I put on my coat and I'm ready to drive off, and they call back and they're like, never mind, we found it. Saw on TikTok, if you put garlic in your nose, it unclogs your sinuses? Huh? Waiting 10 to 15 minutes. Moment of truth. It works. Like, really works. Showing that you have a lot of snot doesn't really mean that it works. The cause of a congested or clogged nose is because the blood vessels of that area is really dilated, and that causes inflammation. That's why you feel like you can't breathe. Having a runny nose could still mean that your nose is still inflamed and those cells are secreting a lot of mucus and they're running out. So it doesn't mean if you see snot coming out, your inflammation is going away. Who thought of this hack? Just use a nasal decongestant as long as you don't use it for over 3 days, or a oral decongestant, and you should be fine. And honestly, sticking random things in your nose is really scary, because you know how many kids end up in the emergency department because they have a Lego piece stuck up their nose and their parents can't get it out?
Okay, sir, and are you on any medications? I do love Satan for my cholesterol. I'm sorry, what was that? Love Satan. I have high cholesterol.
Love Satan. Lovastatin?
Lovastatin? That's what I said. Well, not really, but What else? I take a little pink pill. It kind of looks like that. I think it starts with an L.
Lisinopril?
Lisinopril. That's the one!
Actually.
Really? Okay. Anything else? I had a headache this morning and took a couple of acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. A sea of men I'm in. Acetaminophen?
One of the funniest drug pronunciation is actually from my friend who is also a pharmacist. Oh god, I hope she doesn't watch my video. But when we first learned about epinephrine, we only see the word in our textbooks, right? And she didn't know how to pronounce it, and she used to pronounce it epinephrine. We still make fun of her till this day. Pharmacist, can you please describe your cough to me? Patient does this. Honestly, before COVID, we didn't have any plexiglasses between the pharmacy station and the patients. And it wasn't until after COVID that we realized, hey, the plexiglasses are actually not a bad idea. The patients are no longer coughing right into my face. Our hospital recently did our pharmacy renovation, and this is obviously post-COVID now, but they still installed plexiglasses between the pharmacist and the patient. Yeah, I know it might be harder to hear and talk through the glass, but you know at the end of the day, how much spit residue I can see on the glass?
I have been on a glow-up journey since 2019. These are some of my favorite things that I use pretty much every single day. Anti-aging. Like my anti-aging journey, let me show you. One, hydrogen water bottle. This is insane. It infuses hydrogen gas into your water. You have to drink it within like 10 to 20 minutes after you make it. You just press this little button, the hydrogen goes in, boom, good to go. This helps with oxidative stress, cellular health. It helps with brain fog, fatigue, energy, skin. It's the most simple thing. You just charge this guy up, press the button, it has been insane.
It is insane. As far as I know, and if my chemistry is correct, water is H2O. So for every 1 molecule of oxygen, you have 2 molecules of hydrogen. Why are we infusing extra hydrogen into the water? Also, where are you getting the hydrogen gas? If I'm not mistaken, hydrogen gas is highly combustible and can just explode at any time. Do you need to recharge your water bottle with hydrogen gas? Where do you even buy the refill for hydrogen gas? And what is the purpose of having hydrogen gas in your water?
So these I leave in my bathroom because I take this at night and I take this in the morning. These are from Ritual. This is the Highest Sierra skin supplement, not sponsored. This is the Symbiotic. They're pre, they're pro, and they're postbiotic. And I take.
Did she say postbiotic? Postbiotic? What's that? This also reminds me of the whole craze of having alkaline water and how that's supposed to be beneficial for your body. But your gastric acid is so acidic. It literally only has a pH of 1.5. If you drink water that's alkaline, it's just going to get immediately neutralized in the stomach. All right, 0 out of 10.
Just breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your mouth. Breathe.
Oh, she really looks like she was suffering through this. I've never seen this device before. Is this a new generation of neti pots?
Press it harder, bub. Yeah, you gotta press it harder. Yep, you're done.
I feel it in my brain.
Fine.
There's salt in my brain.
There's not salt in your brain.
We do actually recommend neti pots. That's actually proven to help with allergies and congestions. Basically, you're irrigating your whole nasal system to try to wash out any of the allergens that's still left in your nose that's causing your symptoms like runny nose, runny eyes, congestion. What we usually recommend is to use neti pots first to clean out your nose, and then use any of your prescribed nasal sprays like Flonase or any other corticosteroids, just because after cleansing, you are getting rid of the allergens and then you use the corticosteroid to make it work a little bit better. So looking at this device, it does just look like a neti pot. Maybe a 6 out of 10 for this.
If you have terrible panic attacks or anxiety and you need like a quick fix, not gonna solve the root cause, but a quick fix in the moment to travel with, take to restaurants, this homeopathic.
Oh god. Wow. If you can take something however many times during the day, that just means there's no active ingredient in there. If there is, then there should be an upper limit of how much you can take.
You pretty much just put 4 to 5 little balls.
So is it 3, 4, or 5? I wonder if we conduct a head-to-head blinded study with one group of people receiving these homeopathic panic attack drugs and another group receiving placebo, but nobody knows which one they're getting. Maybe both groups will have equal outcomes of reduced panic attacks because they think they're getting something useful. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Sick of blemishes ruining your day? Tired of other pimple patches making you look like a stressed out second grade art teacher?
I actually didn't realize these pimple patches were becoming a trend until I saw some of the younger coworkers we have in the hospital just rocking up to work with these really cute star or heart-shaped pimple patches, and I was like, what am I doing just using plain old regular retinol every night? But jokes aside, if the pimple patches actually contain some good acne ingredients like benzoyl peroxide, it might be really helpful for your pimples. And you get to look cute.
Introducing Big Patch, the revolutionary new pimple patch that covers your whole fucking face. Skincare was taking over my life. Red light therapy, gua sha. My routine now is a breeze. Simply peel off the backing, place Big Patch on your face, and you're good to go. I really like how it targets the source of the issue. My face.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Why are you filming me?
Because the world needs to know about this weird problem.
It's not weird. Okay,
It's weird.
What is weird?
just
What is weird? Show us.
Can go down your throat with water and water only.
Why can't it be food or water? That makes no sense. Someone just along the way decided it was water.
No. It's water. It's water because you're taking a pill. If you put food in your mouth and you swallow the food, that's more sustenance going down your throat, making it harder to swallow.
Easy. I just swallowed it. If I do it with water, my throat closes and it clamps on my throat.
He's actually wrong. This is not weird at all. And this is something pharmacists have to professionally deal with. We get asked this all the time. If they just have a swallowing issue and the pill is not going down with water, we actually recommend taking it with some jelly, some yogurt, or ice cream. Some sort of actual food that's more substantial, and it's usually sort of a semi-solid or liquid form, and that bulk actually helps the patient to swallow better. This person just happens to choose bread, which if it works for her, that's totally fine. Obviously, we have patients that cannot swallow at all. Either they have aspiration if they swallow, which means they have a condition that makes them swallow into the trachea, so into your lungs, instead of into the esophagus, which can be really dangerous because you don't want any foreign pieces going down to your lung. That can cause a lot of infections. We have patients that might have a throat cancer, so they have an actual obstruction. So in those cases, we might have to go with a tube or other form of medication like IV, sub-Q, rectal, dermal, anything else that's not oral, and there are a ton of options out there, and as a pharmacist we need to figure out what to recommend.
Okay, I have a super random health tip for you guys. Whenever I get home from anywhere, I like to take a little bit of baking soda and just let it dissolve in my mouth. The bicarbonate calms your nervous system like that. It's not the most pleasant taste in the world, but it's also not the worst thing in the world. It's also really, really good for you. Look into it.
Oh, I will look into it.
Use it with a little bit of honey. It's actually very, very good for you. Look into sodium bicarbonate.
I can't believe we just talked about the alkaline water and now we find an actual TikTok promoting sodium bicarbonate. Again, if you're just taking a teaspoonful of sodium bicarb and eating that through your mouth, it's gonna go into your stomach and your stomach acid is just going to neutralize that. It's not going to do anything for you. You're not gonna get an alkaline blood and pH of above 7 just because you drank some alkaline water. But there's a ton of people that fall for it and they buy these alkaline water that's supposed to be good for you. Oh, I get so mad when I hear this. You know, in hospitals what we actually use alkalinizing agents for? There's one chemotherapy that requires a very high dose of methotrexate and we need to hydrate the patients starting 4 hours before they can start the chemotherapy. And this has sodium bicarb in it. But the patient is super closely monitored for any of their electrolytes, and this sodium bicarb doesn't just have sodium and bicarbonate because that's going to mess up your electrolytes. It also has potassium. It also has to run at a very carefully calculated rate, and we're drawing this patient's blood all the time to monitor all of their electrolytes and making sure that's in check. This will not do anything for you. It's probably not going to harm you, but it's not going to do anything. 0 out of 10. All right, I just spent the last hour brain rotting myself with TikTok, so I think I need to go on a break now and actually touch grass outside. If you have any other outrageous TikToks that you want me to look at, leave them down below. I have another video of me reading weird medical Reddit posts and I'll link it over here. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more contents like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!